The most popular song in America right now is by Anthony Oliver. It's a song called Richmond, North of Richmond. Why is this song so popular? I'm going to answer that in this video, and I'm going to unpack the lyrics and decipher them. I'm John Lovell, Warrior Poet Society, and so it's the work of poets to decipher this kind of stuff. And so I believe Richmond, North of Richmond is a dirge for the American dream. It's a funeral song. It's pure truth in an age of lies, and that hits hard. That resonates because we feel everything is corrupt, everything is just lies. And here this man, this country boy, is just singing the blues in the only way that he knows how, doing something that we're unable to do. Perhaps we're too angry about everything going on for us to be able to do this, but he cries for us. Metaphorically, through the song, it's just pure, a deep soul groaning. And so I want to jump into the song and unpack what the lyrics are. So without further ado, let's jump in. He sings, "I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullcrap pay." He uses that word intentionally. It's a powerful word, and I think he's right to do so. "So I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away." He's not working to live. He's working just to survive. And every day is Groundhog Day. He wakes up to make a living, and it's just enough so that he can get back up and go back to a job where he's underpaid and he's not making ends meet. It's just paycheck to paycheck. And that's how most Americans are feeling a squeeze right now. Paycheck to paycheck, credit card debt, with no real hope and no chance of getting ahead in sight. The American dream, opportunity for advancement, and he is mourning the death of that. He doesn't feel that, and most folks aren't either. He says, "It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is." He said, "It's a shame because it doesn't have to be this way. Not long ago, it was different, but we've declined to a point where it is that way, whether we'd like it or not. The American dream, which is that opportunity for advancement, is gone, and he feels no hope to get out of this economic cycle of indentured servitude. It's a shame." He goes on, "Living in the new world with an old soul." The world has changed too much. It's changed too fast. And the stuff that we hold the most dear is gone. It is a distant memory. And he misses the old world with its old values and the things we used to care about. He misses his country. He goes on, "These rich men north of Richmond." Now, when he says this line, and it's in the title as well, you think of Richmond, Virginia, what's above it? Well, DC. And so he's talking about the suits, the powerful politicians with their empty promises and their meaningless platitudes, which sing us to sleep generation after generation that things are going to get better for you, and all that happens is it gets better for them. Each year we get more and more corrupt, more evil, and it's all going to come along well if you vote for me. And these billionaires and multi-millionaires with their jets and their private houses spanned out, they're just a bunch of con men. And so it is their fault. It is the fault of our elite class, and it's the fault of our bureaucrats and our politicians and our lobbyists and our media that's put us in this mess. Lord knows they all just want to have total control, want to know what you think, want to know what you do. And this is the rise of the surveillance state. Immediately images of the lockdowns and censorship and unbridled tyranny comes about. What do tyrants want? What do people in control want? They want more control. They want more power. Enough is never enough for tyrants. And so that's what he is singing there. The next verse is, "And they don't think you know, but I know that you do." He's saying, the tyrants, maybe they believe they're getting away with it, but we actually do understand that the times are desperately bleak. We're on to the game. We know everything's a lie. We're not believing what we're hearing and seeing anymore. And Oliver's basically saying, guys, I know you see what I see, but many of us won't say it out loud, or we maybe will whisper it to each other, but we're not declaring it from the podiums. We're not declaring it from our platforms. Many of us are not, because if we say it out loud, if we admit it to be true, well, that in and of itself is a terrible thing, to admit that it is as desperate as we really feel and already sense it is. But if we admit it out loud, maybe we have to do something about it. And if we have to do something about it, it'll cost us something that we're not really willing to pay right now. All right, next lyric. Because your dollar ain't crap and it's taxed to no end because of rich men north of Richmond. It's the politicians that have caused massive inflation to run rampant and also pushed our cost of goods sold way up. So not only is your dollar inflated and worthless, but the cost of goods sold is way, way up. So your dollar isn't going nearly as far. I read a report recently that the American family is making $5,000 less in real money this year over last. That means your salary may not have gone down, but because of the spiking cost of everything around, you are $5,000 poorer. So credit card debt has been taking off, skyrocketing. At 22% interest on credit card debt, man, we are in a whole world of hurt, and he's recognizing that. Now, if that's not bad enough, and it is, remember, your tax rate is wildly high. And when you take all the different taxes that we have, it's income and property and state, local municipality, of your cell phones tax. When you die, there's a death tax. You're getting taxed every which way. And so it really will amount to about 50% of everything that you really make is going out in some way or another toward tax. If you make a whole lot, well, it's even higher than that, unless you're a billionaire and then you know how to completely evade taxes and then you don't pay taxes at all. I know what you're thinking, really bleak, but this is why the song is popular. It's because it's bleak. This is a song for our cultural moment. I wish politicians would look out for miners and not just miners on an island somewhere. So the very first word, miners, it's like you're working in a mine. Where he lives, there's a big mining population. So they're going underground and they're working their butts off in terrible, terrible conditions. But politicians, are they looking out for the working man who's breaking his back and risking his life to do really dangerous jobs? No, they're not. Instead, they're looking out for minors, as in very young people who are being sexually exploited in pedophile rings that are protected by politicians because they're working out their lust and indulging in this pedophilia. That's why he's saying, like, hey, where's Epstein's client list? Nowhere. Why? It's because of protected class. It's because they're the ones that are complicit in this horrible, evil, sick, twisted human enslavement crime against humanity. Next stanza. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. He's saying, hey, we're physically crazy unhealthy. And our system is rewarding bad decision makers, while meanwhile, folks who are really detrimentally in serious need aren't getting the simple provisions they need to make it. Next stanza. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because all this damn country does is keep kicking them down. There's a war against young men. Suicide rates, depression rates have skyrocketed as well. And there's nothing to be done for these folks. In fact, I think strong, hardworking American men are really the enemy. There's no class hated so much as a white, young man, heterosexual. You're the man. You're the enemy. Last verse I'll read now because the rest just repeats. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. It is a shame. What else do you do? Where's your hope? What do you do? Now, in the song, there's no hope extended. There's no action points. Let's go do this. Because again, this is a dirge for the American dream. It's a funeral song. This is a sad, sad, deep soul anguish mourning over what has been lost. However, Oliver, in an overnight success, got opportunity to sing this in front of a live audience. When he did that, though, he did show that there was glimmer of hope. And he says it in a name in this stanza. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. And so it's on that I'm going to let Oliver have the very last word. Here's the only hope.
This is in Psalm 37, 12 through 20. The wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them, but the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day is coming. The wicked draw the sword and bend the bow to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose ways are upright. But their swords will pierce their own hearts, and their bows will be broken. Better the little that have righteousness than the wealth of many wicked. For the power of the wicked will be broken, but the Lord upholds the righteous. The blameless spend their days under the Lord's care, and their inheritance will endure forever. In times of disaster, they will not wither. In days of famine, they will have plenty. But the wicked will perish. Though the Lord's enemies are like the flowers of the field, they will be consumed, and they will go up in smoke.
Guys, thanks so much for tuning in for this video. I know it was a bit of a bummer. We'll have other videos that aren't such a bummer, but you need to press into this. Even though it's not fun to look at, it's important to understand where we are and where other Americans are. I have a book that came out, The Warrior Poet Way. If you would like to read that, I really feel like there is some stuff that we can be doing as men to help ourselves and help other young men who do have a war going on against us in our cultural moment. So check it out, The Warrior Poet Way. Appreciate your support, and make sure you support Anthony Oliver, whom is awesome. That guy's awesome. All right, guys, take it easy.